She wanted her son to marry another girl, but he chose me instead. My name is Emily. I fell in love with Daniel, a kind and gentle man who always respected me. We met in college library where he helped me carry heavy books. Soon we started talking every day. He walked me home, shared food with me, and listened to my dreams. Slowly, love grew between us, but one shadow stood over our happiness: his mother, Mrs. Harris. She was proud, rich, and wanted her son to marry a wealthy girl from her friend's family. When she first saw me, her smile was cold. One evening, Daniel invited me to dinner at his house. I wore a simple blue dress. Mrs. Harris looked me up and down and whispered, "Too plain." At the table, she asked me about my parents. I said, "My father runs a small shop." She raised her eyebrows and replied, "Interesting." Daniel squeezed my hand under the table, but my heart hurt. After dinner, she told Daniel, "You deserve more. A woman who brings wealth, not just books." Her words were sharp, but Daniel stayed quiet, though I saw fire in his eyes. Days passed and Mrs. Harris began her tricks. She invited Clara, the rich friend's daughter, to family events. Clara wore shiny dresses and laughed loudly at Daniel's jokes. She even sat too close to him, touching his arm. I stood aside, feeling invisible. One day Clara said loudly, "Daniel, your mother says you will soon get engaged to me." Everyone looked at me. My eyes burned, but Daniel quickly said, "That's not true. I already know who I want to marry." Clara's smile froze, and Mrs. Harris clenched her fists. Mrs. Harris grew angrier. She came to my house one morning, uninvited. She looked around my small living room, then said, "You will never fit in our world. You can't give my son the life he deserves." My mother tried to be polite, offering her tea, but she pushed the cup away. After she left, I cried in my mother's arms. My father said, "Love is not built on money, Emily. If Daniel is true, he will fight for you." Those words gave me strength, though my heart still shook with fear. At Daniel's birthday party, Mrs. Harris made her biggest move. In front of all relatives, she announced, "Daniel will soon be engaged to Clara." Everyone clapped, but Daniel stood up and shouted, "Stop!" The room went silent. He pulled me close and said, "This is the woman I love. Emily is the one I will marry." Gasps filled the hall. Clara's face turned red and Mrs. Harris dropped her glass. Relatives whispered, some shocked, some smiling. My hands trembled, but I held Daniel tight. It was the first time he fought openly for me. After that night, Mrs. Harris refused to talk to me. She told Daniel, "If you marry her, you lose me." Daniel replied calmly, "Then I lose you, but I will never lose her." I cried when he told me, but inside I felt stronger. A week later, she tried one more trap. She sent Clara with expensive gifts for Daniel. Clara said sweetly, "Your life will be easier with me." Daniel looked at her and replied, "Money cannot buy love. Take your gifts back." He closed the door on her, and I saw tears in Clara's eyes. Mrs. Harris stopped eating for 2 days, pretending to be sick. Daniel rushed to her side. She said weakly, "If you marry Emily, you will break my heart." Daniel kissed her hand and said, "Mother, you taught me to follow truth. Emily is my truth. If you can't accept her, then you don't accept me either." She turned her face away. But that night, Daniel came to my house and hugged me. "No matter what happens, I will not let her break us," he whispered. My fear turned into courage again. Rumors spread in town. Some said I trapped Daniel, others said I was too poor for him. One afternoon, Clara met me in a cafe. She smirked and said, "Even if he marries you, his mother will hate you forever. Can you live like that?" My eyes filled with tears, but I replied, "Love is stronger than hate. He chose me." Clara laughed and walked away. That evening, Daniel brought me flowers and said, "You are my peace, Emily. Don't listen to anyone." His words healed my heart again. Then came the wedding day. Mrs. Harris refused to attend. My heart broke, but Daniel held my hand and said, "We will start our life with love, not approval." The ceremony was small, filled with friends who truly cared for us. When I wore the ring, tears rolled down my cheeks. Clara did not appear, but whispers said she left town out of shame. After the vows, Daniel kissed me and said, "This is our beginning." I smiled, but deep inside, I still wished his mother would accept me one day. Weeks later, Daniel and I moved into a small apartment. Life was not easy. We cooked together, shared laughter, and sometimes cried when money was tight. One night, while eating noodles, Daniel said, "I don't need gold plates. Eating with you is enough." Suddenly, there was a knock. It was Mrs. Harris. She looked tired, her eyes red. She stepped inside and whispered, "I thought you would leave him when life got hard, but you stayed." I nodded silently. She looked at Daniel and then back at me. My heart raced. She sat down quietly and said, "I see now. You give him what money cannot: love, loyalty, peace." Tears filled her eyes. "Forgive me, Emily." My body shook with shock. Daniel hugged her, and for the first time we sat together as a family. She even touched my hand softly and said, "You are stronger than I thought." That night, after she left, Daniel smiled. "See, love wins slowly, but it wins." I rested my head on his shoulder, finally breathing freely. The storm was ending. Now, when I look back, I see a journey of pain and love. Clara tried to take him, his mother tried to stop me, but Daniel's choice never wavered. He chose me not once, but every single day, and in the end, even Mrs. Harris learned the truth. Love is not about money, not about class. It is about two hearts beating as one. I was the girl she never wanted, but I became the woman she respected. And that is the power of true love.